Hello everyone, it's Mike here and I'll be sharing with you today the 3 subjects that you could partially sacrifice while preparing for your CFA Level 1 exam. I've been teaching the CFA classes for the last 5 years and I've noticed that candidates face some difficulties in studying some subjects and tend to spend excess time focusing on mastering few readings. However, in my opinion, it's better to sacrifice this material and focus on other readings where students could increase their probability of passing. The 3 readings that I consider to be a bit challenging are Reading 27, which is Income Tax in the Financial Reporting and Analysis, Reading 45, which is the Introduction to Asset-Backed Securities and Fixed Income, and Reading 14, which is the Aggregate Output, Price, and Economic Growth in Economics. For the Income Tax chapter, it's important to understand the concept of deferred tax asset and deferred tax liability, and why we have these balance sheet accounts, because we somehow have 2 income statements and 2 balance sheets. One as a financial statement for shareholders, financial institution, and other stakeholders, and the other as tax return for tax authority. It's not a difficult concept, but some candidates find it a bit challenging to going through the calculation and the last part of this chapter. So in my opinion, understand the main ideas of this reading and sacrifice the part you find challenging and focus on other FRA sections. The logic also applies for Asset-Based Securities chapter. It's also important to understand the main concepts of this chapter and the importance of asset-based securities. However, some candidates find it a bit challenging to go through the calculation of mortgage-backed securities and the CDOs and their tranches. So in my opinion, study the main concepts of this chapter and sacrifice the calculation part and the tranches part you find challenging and focus on other fixed income topics. You can also watch a movie titled The Big Short. You can find it on Netflix. It will help you understand this chapter since it explains the 2007-2008 subprime financial crisis that was related to the mortgage-backed securities. As for the third concept you can sacrifice is the macroeconomics part that's related to the derivation of the IS and the LM curve to reach the aggregate demand. It's not a difficult concept and it's logical. However, I've noticed that some candidates find this chapter a bit confusing and conceptual. So understand the logic and take the final figure of the aggregate demand and then go through with the chapter. Again, it's not mandatory to sacrifice those concepts. But if you find that you're spending a lot of time understanding the material, just sacrifice it and focus on other subjects. Thanks for watching, and if you found it beneficial, please like the video and leave a comment if you have any questions. And of course, subscribe to my channel as I'll be posting additional tips for CFA candidates. Thanks again and see you next time.